What's up guys, Matt Tolbers. Today I'm going to give you some useful tips using this Inspire Fitness FT2. I've had a few questions past few months, especially lately, so if you're thinking about getting the FT2 or you have one and maybe you just want to see a couple tips, maybe you don't know how to do something here, I'm just going to go over a couple tips here, so hopefully it helps you. This is a good angle. I'm going to show you how I do my seated rows using this V-bar. People have asked me, how do you hook it up to both pulleys? Well, this is what I do. I take this thing, which comes with the machine. Normally, obviously, you'd have the holes on top because they click in this to set how far you want back. Well, what I do, because you wouldn't have much space with those pulleys if you have it down like this, I flip it upside down and lift this up and just push it in till it goes to the back. And then I take this, well actually, I take this hook right here from one of the pulleys, hopefully you can see that, and I just hook it into the other one that's down here. So you see now they're both hooked together, and then I just take one of them and kind of pull it forward. Let me put this on a lighter weight quick so I can pull this forward. And then I just pull this forward and I hook it onto the V-bar. So you see now they're all both hooked together and it pulls the weights at the same time, so it's twice as heavy. And obviously you just put your feet up here, grab the bar, and just do your seated rows. So I've had people ask me about that, so figured I'd let you guys know that, and then obviously you just unhook it the same way you just did that. So hope that pull downs, using the Smith bar to stabilize my legs so that you're able to pull down more weight without being lifted up once you get to heavier weights. If you have this, you might already know how to do this, but maybe somebody else is just trying to look this machine up, see if they want to get it and kind of how to do this. So I'll show you quick. So first off, I put my bench back just enough so that my butt can sit on it and my knees can be right here and be stabilized. I don't like to have it kind of in front of me. You could do that too if you wanted to, just spread your legs a little bit wider, obviously around the seat. But you take this little safety clip, that's just so it can't fall on your head. Obviously it shouldn't fall on your head because it's hooked right there, but you just turn, you lift it up, turn it, drop this down, and it catches on there. So what you do is you just turn it. You've probably seen some videos on this. You just turn it and then it lowers it down to whatever height you think you're gonna be at. And then you let go, basically turn back like that and it'll catch. So obviously this is still too high. So now that I'm seated down, I have it pretty close. I'll just do it again, get it to where I want, and now it's where I want. And see the fact that I have it hooked around that, it won't go up no matter how hard I push up. If I went like that, it would lift up because it's not connected to any weight. So that'll keep it from moving up. So that's how I do it. Then I put my legs under here. So now that's stable. I could pull, 1,000 pounds. Obviously I'm not that strong, but you know what I mean? Like this wouldn't go up. It shouldn't go up. And then you just reach up, grab your pull down bar and just start doing your reps. Ab slings, these are the ones I got. These are the Armageddon Sport ones. These ones are beasts. Like these handles on here are extremely tough and they're kind of like long and thick. I've been on some of these that were a lot weaker than these, so I do recommend these. But when I put these on here, either you could slide them right on there like this, or you can clip them if you, for whatever reason you wanted to clip them. But the only thing is with this, you got to keep it on the inside here because out here it can slide off. So but once you get on there, it seems to stay. Once you put your arms in these things, it won't like slide like this to the inside or whatever. But it doesn't really matter even if it is on the inside, because once you put your arms in here, these kind of spread out to where your arms are. So honestly, it doesn't even matter. It's probably safer to just have it that close. Then obviously you can do your knee raises. I was able to do knee raises this way and lift the legs. But this way, obviously, you got more space if you're really tall. My feet just barely touch the ground if they're straight. So if I have them just slightly leaned forward or bent, then I won't hit anything over here, even if I do it this way. So you can use this machine to do this. Hook up your leg extension to the bench. So you take this piece first, has 3 holes in it. See this thing? It's got to go in this little square. And then you lift this up, and I move it to this first notch, is usually the one I start with at least. So I'm gonna do that quick. All right, now it's in the first notch. Then I grab my bench. There's a little handle there, and then there's wheels on the front. So all you do is just pick this up, just ride it right up in here. And see, when you get close, try to straighten it out as much as you can. See, and then stop, drop this down, And then you grab your leg extension. You pick this bad boy up. This also has a little square thing with holes in it. And there's where it goes. And obviously it's got a pin, so I'm gonna set the phone down. I'm gonna stick this in. And when I do extensions, leg extensions, I hook it to this first one. So it's up a little bit. And I'm gonna show you what I do for leg curls in a second. So now that it's set up, I have it in the first hole. That's where I like it for extensions. Obviously you can change it. Then you can take this seat. I raise the seat for extensions up to that one, which I guess would be what, the second one down, second or third one down. And that's the angle I like it at. I keep this flat because my legs just go up a little bit, and then you obviously wrap your legs around that. But what you need to do now to actually set this up is you grab your wires. There's two ways to do this, guys. I'll show you both ways. You take these wires, this side goes into this bottom pulley here. You have to hook it. I don't know if I can do this one hand, I'm gonna try. Yep, I did it. Take that, just ride it straight back here. You take it, this little thing right here, there's a spot behind it where you can just put it. I don't know if you can see, but basically there's nothing behind it. It's just enough to kind of keep it hooked up underneath this. You take that, and what I do, I don't know if you're supposed to do this, but this is what I do. I wrap it around the front of this, and then I hook it up into there. I think you are supposed to do that, but also I've done it before where it comes this way and hooks up, but I've noticed that if you do it that way, if you don't wrap it around the front of this, it makes the weight seem way lighter. Like I'm not able to like beast this thing out because it's not out as much, so it doesn't have all that extra pressure from this. So I'm pretty sure you are supposed to put it here. I'm just giving you a tip that make sure it's in front of this, not coming this way, because it will work that way. It just feels really light. So obviously I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side, the exact same. I'm not gonna waste your time with that. Both sides are connected. As you can see, went around here, then I hook it in there. And then you obviously sit down, you put your legs over this, like this, and then you wrap your feet behind that one. And then obviously you lean back. And what I like about this bench is it kind of has this like groove that comes out. So it kind of gives you something, unless you have a super wide butt, which mine's decent, but it gives you a good place to grip. And then obviously you extend your legs. So that's how you do that. And then quickly, if you wanted to switch to doing leg curls, it's already basically set up. What I do personally, because I've done this without doing what I'm gonna tell you, and it made my lower back really tight and hurt. And I've heard some complaints on things where people do that and it hurts their lower back. So what you're supposed to do is you take this, bring it all the way down. So see, now it's in flat bench position. What you need to do with this bench is now you need to take this, and that drops that down. So now it's angled down, because I actually was doing it before when it's flat. You have to have it angled down like that or it doesn't feel good. And what I do next is, because see, this is at the first notch, so this is technically should be the lowest position. So when you go to do this and your legs have to come up like this and then go under here to do your curl, it's still uncomfortable to me. So what I'm gonna do, I take this, I pull it out. I'm gonna have to put the phone down or cut this out quick, but I take this and I drop it even lower where there's not a hole for it, but it will go lower. So I'm gonna do that quick and you'll see the difference. You can see the difference. It dropped, I'd probably say 1.5 inches, and now it's basically resting at the bottom of it. So now when I do it, it's a lot more comfortable. I don't have any issues when I go lift heavy weight with it, of it hurting at all. So obviously then you just climb in here, you know, and you just put your legs underneath that. You make sure your knees are on this side. You do not want your knees on that or on that side. You want your knees on this side of it. So I'm sure that people complained about their knees or something hurting, feeling like they're gonna break their legs off, but you gotta put your knees on this side and do the curl. It shouldn't matter too much based on how long you are. Unless you're super short, it might be a weird angle for you right here. But, and I also grab my hands on that sometimes when I'm doing more weight, because your legs are just gonna extend more or whatever. As long as your knees on this side, you should be fine. I'm gonna show you how to do it without, if you didn't want it, there's two ways to do it. If you didn't want to use these, you're like, I don't even want to worry about those. I just want to do it with the cords that are already in the machine. This is the other way to do it. This is what you do. Whichever way you want to do it, you know, is up to you. I've done it both and I like both. You have to take this off so you can see it. Sorry if it's blurry. You drop that down like this, And then you take this pulley, you grab it here, and you raise this to the top. As high as it goes. So it clicks. That's as high as it goes. See how it's kind of loose right now? That's fine. Then you go to the other side and you take this one off. Like I said, drop that down. Then you take this, raise it up to the top. All right, see that? Both the top, both of those have those little loose hangings, but watch what's gonna happen to these loose hanging here in 1 second. So now you grab this. Remember before we connected the other one to this? Well, this time you don't have to do that. You take it, see how this is going up? You go here, you do the same exact thing. Sorry these videos are so raw, like Blair Witch style, but I think I like doing it like this. As long as the info gets across. So then you slide it under here just like the other one we would, and then you just clip it on here. Now see how this is all the way at the top? That's why you needed that extra space. Then you go to the other side, has both are loose right now. Grab this one, do the same thing, slide it, take it, put it underneath here, make sure it's wrapped around that, and then that clicks. You can feel like it gets tense. And then see if I can do this one hand. All right, I got it on there. I felt a little tight. Oh, yep, all right, it's good. But, oh, you know why? Because I didn't put this one up quite high enough. I was like, why'd that feel so tight? There, see, that's tighter. So yeah, you gotta make sure that's basically almost touching that. I wasn't sure why it was so tight. I had to pull a little hard. Getting this is the last kind of tip that I'll give for space for this thing. What's awesome on this thing is you can really fit it into a small space. If you can kind of see, it's pretty close to the back of the wall and to that side. What I would say here, I could actually move this bad boy back about 3 more inches. Hopefully you can see here, see how there's, it might be hard to tell the gap, but that's about 3 inches. I actually measured it to see. That's about 3 inches on both of those pipes right there. I could put it closer, 3 inches closer. You could literally put this straight up against here to save another 3 inches. There's nothing behind this thing that needs, this comes out like maybe 1/2 inch, but it's still shorter than how far that is. So even if you put that right against the wall, this isn't hitting anything. There's nothing behind this machine that you need to get to. So you literally, if you look up the dimensions on it, you can literally have it flat against your wall if you want to. And the other thing I wanted to say, so from my other side, this is how much space I have. That, the farthest part that sticks out is right here. I know it's black, probably hard to see. That's 15 inches. I measured it, it's 15 inches to my garage right there. I would recommend about that much space on one side of it. Because say you're doing flies or something, if I had this lower, say it came forward and I was doing flies, you want to have a little space so you don't hit your hands on anything. And you know, you want it to be able to come out a little bit. But you really, I probably could put it a little bit closer because I don't think my hands get very close to it when I step forward and do it. But I'd recommend about 15 inches right there on that side. And this side, I would like to have a lot of space on one side of it if I was you. Not a lot, but enough space so you can maybe step back and do some like rope extensions and do some like one-armed, you know, kickbacks and stuff like that. You're gonna wanna use this. Obviously you could do rope pull downs and stuff. You could take this off. This comes off if you didn't know. This comes off and you could do your rope extensions, which would be up even higher than this can technically go because that's about as high as that goes. But if you want to do like one arm things and stuff, you want to be able to lower this to a certain, you know, height and be able to do your kickbacks and whatever workouts you want to do with it. So I'd recommend one side of it, you leave quite a bit of space. So that's it for the tips on this Inspire Fitness FT2, guys. Sorry, it was like Blair Witch style video. Hopefully at least you got some info from it. So yeah, guys, if you want to see more videos, just like, comment, subscribe, and see you in the next one. Peace.